Greetings, book lovers everywhere, and welcome to E-Train Talks. I'm E-Train, an 11-year-old literacy advocate, Giving Tuesday Spark leader, and your podcast host. Here on E-Train Talks, I share book reviews and talk to amazing authors in the hopes of inspiring others to love stories as much as I do. Book review number? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I've just done so many. Here goes. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of the best books I've ever read, The Civil War of Amos Abernathy. I've never read a book with such a strong, fierce, and all-around awesome protagonist as the main character in Michael Leali's debut middle-grade novel, The Civil War of Amos Abernathy. Amos Abernathy is certainly my kind of hero. The story is told in a unique format from most middle-grade stories I've read. The story bounces from the present to the past. Well, flashbacks from 2021 and bits of 2022 to be exact. The chapters taking place in the past are portrayed through letters to Albert D.J. Cashier, a Union soldier from the Civil War and Amos's personal queer plus hero. If alive today, Albert would have been considered trans, born in the body of a girl, but when he grew up, he took the form of who he truly was, a boy, a man, in a time where his transformation wouldn't have been accepted, back in the 1800s. And Albert was a real person, and faced the same hardships as shared in this book. And let's face it, here we are in 2022, and people still have to fight so hard for their freedoms. But that's another story. I'm here to talk about Amos's story. So, Amos Abernathy is gay, but who he likes certainly doesn't define his personality. Amos is a tween, he's obsessed with history and Abraham Lincoln. Not to mention he's a Civil War reenactor, and most of all, he is strong. He doesn't care what anyone thinks of him, and when a contest for a new exhibit at his reenactment site begins, Amos knows he has to come up with a brilliant idea, along with help from his best friends Chloe and Ben. And the twist of the story, his best friend Ben just might be who Amos has a crush on. One day while walking together, Ben sparks a perfect plan, though not in the nicest way. Ben claims that queer people weren't around until the 21st century, and while a cruel thing to say, Amos has really never heard of any queer people from the 19th century or 20th century, but he knew they had to have existed, right? So the trio began a quest to find any information from the past for their presentation, but their plan backfires when Ben's parents, who are extremely against LGBTQ+ people, discover their project and ground Ben due to his a bit more than just friends-ish relationship with Amos. That's when Ben's parents forbid them from ever seeing each other, and worse, Ben completely cuts off all ties with Amos, and even begins to believe everything his parents say. Meanwhile, in the present, it's time for a huge reenactment performance from Amos, but he soon discovers that Ben is in attendance and wants to talk. What does he have to say? Amos can hardly wait to hear from his, despite everything, crush. But with tons going on that day, and how horribly Ben had treated him, will the two ever become more than just friends? Or even buddies again? Read the fast-paced, meaningful, and downright amazing middle-grade book, The Civil War of Amos Abernathy, to find out what happens next. This masterpiece made me feel seen in a way I hadn't before. As a tween, I'm still learning and discovering who I really am, along with Ben. The Civil War of Amos Abernathy is truly a book that every middle-grade reader out there needs to read. This book needs to be on the top of your bookshelf because it's so beautiful, fantastic, entertaining, and it helps so many kids discover who they are and makes so many feel seen. 10 out of 10 book. Everybody, this is one of the best middle grade books out there. See you soon.